Remi Sandri, last side for Vanya. Excuse me, what are you doing? It's very rude.
I'm still listening. I can multitask. I can drive and text or watch a movie and tweet.
You can multitask, how wonderful. You can tweet. You Twitter and tweet, you email and text. Your life is a buzz with electrical communication. I know older people always think the past was better, but really, instead of a text with all these lowercase letters and no punctuation, what about a nicely crafted letter sent to the post office? Or a thank you note?
Yeah, it was real elegant back then. I get it. You had to wait 5 days for a letter, but it was real nice. Time marches on, dude.
We used to lick postage stamps back then. Obviously, you never heard that. They didn't just peel off ready-made with sticky stuff on the back. The sticky stuff had to be triggered by your wet tongue. It took time. If you were sending out many letters, you could be licking postage stamps for 10 minutes or so. We used typewriters back then, and whiteout for corrections, and carbon paper for copies. We had telephones, and we had to dial the number by putting our index finger in a round hole representing 2 to 0. If the number was 909-999, it could take hours just to dial the number. We had to have patience then, and we used to lick postage stamps. It was unpleasant, but it had to be done. We didn't multitask. Doing one thing at a time seemed appropriate, but I guess you can sort of listen to a play and sort of send a message and sort of play a video game. All at once. It must be wonderful. I know I sound like a crank, but I don't like change. My play is about scary change in the weather, but there are other changes too that have happened. There are 785 television channels. You can watch the news report that matches what you already think. In the 50s, there were only 3 or 4 channels, and it was all in black and white. And there were no child stars who became drug addicts like Lindsay Lohan. Hayley Mills was in the original Parent Trap, and she grew up to be a sensible, nice woman. There was no South Park. We saw Howdy Doody, starring a puppet. Then there was Kukla, Fran, and Ollie, starring 2 more puppets, and a sweet lady named Fran. We watched puppets back then! There was the Perry Como Show. He was charming. The Dinah Shore Show. She was soothing. The Bishop Sheen Show was on Sunday evening. A Catholic bishop had his own TV show, and he gave sermons on TV. I mean, we weren't Catholic, but we watched him anyway. He had said sensible things on television. The Ed Sullivan Show was on before Bishop Sheen, and he had opera singers on, and performers from current Broadway musical shows. Richard Burton and Julie Andrews would sing songs from Camelot. It was wonderful. It helped theater be part of the national consciousness, which it isn't anymore. Oh, and he had Senor Wences on, who had a Spanish accent and was a ventriloquist, and he painted a mouth on his fist, and he would make it speak. Hello, 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 hello. So right. His act went on for like 7 hours. I remember thinking as a child, this must be what eternity is like. And yet, that's a good concept for a child to have.
I thought you were talking about things you liked in the past.
You're right, I'm inconsistent. I don't know what I'm saying. Be quiet. Be quiet! We licked postage stamps and we sent letters. I preferred Bishop Sheen to Senor Wences. Bishop Sheen was a good speaker, and he used his real mouth instead of one drawn onto his fist, which made me take him more seriously. Because I remember him talking about the seed falling on the good soil, seed falling on bad soil, the seed falling on rock. In other words, build your life on a strong foundation. Of course, I haven't done that, but I meant to. And Bishop Sheen said I should. I guess I got lost. But it was interesting to hear him talk that way. It was articulate. I don't think much is articulate in the world anymore. And I'm saying all this in retrospect. I didn't think it when I was 10. I was just trying to get through life one day at a time when I was 10. And I didn't have a life ahead of me where I was going to be almost cast in Entourage 2. I guess you're having a good life, and I had a foolish one. Tell me, do they have any older characters on Entourage 2? Do they need someone in their late 50s who's had a useless life and is looking back feeling bitter? Might I audition for that part? Could you check?
Vanya, darling, you seem overwrought and you're talking way more than usual. Do you want to lie down somewhere?
No, I have the remainder of my life to nap. I'm not done yet. We licked postage stamps. We didn't have answering machines. You had to call people back. We ate Spam, just like the soldiers in World War II. Have you heard of World War II?